Giddy up here. Hey, I'm live. Hey, good morning, everybody. Unless you're watching this as a rerun or something like that, you can skip ahead 11 minutes and start from there. Okay. Go to the 11-minute mark if you want to start there with some of the content. Otherwise, the radio station's giving you time to hook up and get ready to go here this morning across the Dakota Territory on great radio stations that continue to support and help play the truth, and to have a format where it's open lines where you can actually call in and talk about what's going on in your world here. I can't say what's going on, what's on your mind anymore. I can't say that. Evidently, it got registered. And if I say it, I have a cease and desist. If I say, and somebody calls in and say, what's on your mind? So I am probably just going to say, tell me what's going on in your world, or I got to make something up. I'm sure I'll see a lawsuit for saying what's on your mind. Good grief here. Good morning, Mike. Morning, Waylon. Yeah. Ivermectin time. Waylon, I hope you and your lovely bride show up to Bucks this coming Wednesday for the Bismarck Cancer Center's fundraiser, Bucks for Bras. Dave from Minnesota, good morning. You have a burn ban in Minnesota? Holy balls, it must be dry. Magic Mike Wagner, good morning. All right, the wife is going to be there. Perfect. Gene Kong, what's my mix? My mix this morning, like I do every Saturday morning, is ivermectin, and Remy Martin. It's my Saturday morning ritual. Because ivermectin sucks by itself, but evidently Jesse thinks it's okay. Station 65930, 65930. So you can see the delay coming up here. 65930 on my clock on Mark. All right, what else is going on here? Let's see here. Going to be grinding gears today on the show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome to YouTube. Let me guess what you're eating.
Okay.
Bear claw.
Nope.
Nutter butters.
Nope.
I'm only going for the third one, and it's I'm guessing it's going to be something like pizza.
It's a mega breakfast sub that has ham, bacon, sausage, egg, and cheese on a 6-inch white sub bread bun.
There's two things you never hear in the same sentence.
What's that?
6 inches in white.
Wow.
Ba-doom.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the stations are playing news right now. Hey, we can't say what's on your mind when it comes on to the program.
Okay.
I have a cease and desist letter from saying when I answer the phones and somebody saying and asking them what's on their mind. And you can about imagine to where that came from.
You got to be kidding me.
Good morning, Eric. He's listening in the garage and pier. And my buddy John Armin's down in the pier area doing some bird hunting and what have you. Got to sit down with Christy Nome and hobnob a little bit. I'm not sure. She is in Sturgis. She's in the Black Hills this weekend. She's making her big interstate tour, I guess you could say. Re-election campaign type thing.
Oh, is the governor race on down there?
Yep.
For this year?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I see
Jim
there's like
Haber. Good morning,
there's like
Jim.
30 some governors, I think, that are up for election this year.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the ending of my pronghorn antelope season.
Oh boy.
So it shouldn't take long. There's like dozens of them down in my lease land right now.
I gotcha.
So I have a hard time shooting bucks. Okay. When you only see one buck in 2030 and in 2030, does in this group, and you go over and you see only one buck over there, and you go see only one. It's like, if I would shoot all my breeding bulls in my heifers,
right?
It probably wouldn't have any breed up, right?
With that said, though, are they like deer to where they really split out and there's only one buck with a group of does? I mean, is there more bucks out there than we realize? Or?
Probably in some areas.
Okay.
But not where my gratis tag is.
Gotcha.
That's my issue.
Right.
Like if I go down to the 25 ranch, holy moly, he had like 150 of them in that field, and he's like, "Take your pick." I'm like, I can't legally do that.
Oh yeah.
And unless you write down your federal allotment that we pay for, if you have a gratis tag, you cannot legally hunt on Forest Service property
unless you state it.
Gene Cox makes a good point. There's another buck wanting you to shoot that other buck. That is
the one that got chased out.
That is very true. But unless I see him standing on the sidelines like, I'm ready to tag in, buddy, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So. Stations 70400. Station 70400 on mark. Showtime, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Wonder if I can say what's on your conscience.
What grinds your gears today?
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous because the funny thing is he went and trademarked that apparently.
Apparently.
It wasn't his to begin with.
I don't, if people are going to start doing that, there's certain things, maybe I should trademark saying the time.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to pay me for that, I think it's just because on this station type thing is what I'm thinking. So that's, you know what I'm saying. Anyway,
we can't stop. Go ahead.
60 seconds of showtime. Just letting you know.
We can't stop what our listeners say when they call in. Though.
No, that's fine. That's okay because that's coming.
I need to tell you guys what's on my mind.
Easy now. You're going to get me in trouble. All right, I'm going to go quiet with you here for the next 40 seconds. Stations, going quiet here for the next 30 seconds. We'll start up shortly. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. I'm your host, Scott Bachmeyer, as we continue talking outdoors and maybe a little political today on an open line Saturday. Open line. Why is it open lines? I tried 5 different people. One of them's out on a rimfire match shooting competition. Another one's pheasant hunting and calling coyotes and hobnobbing with Governor Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem is in Sturgis doing a lot, or she was at least, according to this morning, her latest post, running around and working on the re-election campaign side of things. And everybody else is like, you know what? It's hunting season. It's the last weekend of the North Dakota pronghorn antelope season. So And pheasant season is upon us. So when you have a Saturday morning program, when people mostly work during the week and go hunting on Saturdays and Sundays, this sometimes happens, and we like to have open lines. And always, as always, to help me with open lines / what grinds your gears, and you can call in to 888-932-5682. Again, when it rings here, I'll put you on hold to get to your number, your call as soon as I can. Okay, so I'm not sure what kind of match it is. Gene Cox asked on if you want to watch on YouTube, you can sure do that as a replay. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. A lot of people do that, even though he lives in the town with a great radio station, a KMLO, that can listen to it right there. But anyway, what kind of rimfire match? I'm not sure. It's Cord Johnston down at Lane LLC out of Rapid City on suppressor side of things. He shoots a lot of this. But anyway, going back, when I have open lines and you want to talk and throw things at us, and, we can answer any questions to the best of our ability. And if not, we can make it up. Jesse Flath from Western Frontier Insurance joins me. And good morning, Jesse. Good to have you along.
Good morning. Yeah, just you guys talked about some real good things last week, and as always, the listeners of this show will give you some more topics, I'm sure, along the way today.
Well, here's a few topics that I have. A lot of topics come in, Jesse, after the show is done.
Yeah, a lot of text messages,
absolutely,
phone calls.
Yeah, not everybody wants to call in and take part. And I say that because I feel, honestly, my program is majority. It's mostly like if you go from western North and South Dakota border against Montana, Wyoming, and you go east about 2/3 of the state, I say we pretty much all agree. It's I-29.
I'd say that's a pretty safe, broad statement. Yeah,
it's I-29 that doesn't really like a lot of what I say. So majority of the listeners, I would say, agree, which I'm going to say that. And if you disagree, that's fine. You can call in. You can text 701-425-6651. That's fine. You can also message me through Messenger, Facebook Messenger. You can also message me on the YouTube live channel. But I did get one thing message to me. I'm finding it here on Messenger. And sometimes it comes from people I don't know where they come from, where they're at the certain time. And it's kind of funny because he saw me driving with my lights on one day during the day, and he knows that never happens in my mind. The daytime driving lights on my pickup from the factory, if they don't shut them off and they don't disable that, I ain't buying that pickup. Anyway, it says, hey, Scott, hope you and your family are doing good with all the shenanigans in the world right now. The reason I'm sending this is in the past I was in this is the wrong one. I'm looking. I got the wrong one, Jesse.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to get it. Anyway, I'm gonna go through it, see if I can find
it. Search it out during break.
Oh no, I'm gonna come at you with it right now. The basis of it was somebody who says, why can't we get hunters to understand that you can't park in the middle of roads? It came from a farmer rancher guy that's not only in the middle of corn and sunflowers, but weaning calves and shipping cattle and moving everything down the roads and having to fight with, coming over the hills, somebody parking in the middle of places. It's tough sometimes. This is a busy season here, all the way through deer season. It's busy for us. And I got reprimanded pretty heavily on Facebook by making a comment on, this is going to be fun to haul hay. And I was called a hypocrite because I have an outdoor show encouraging hunting, which I do, but I've never once have I encouraged sitting on the gravel road and making it hard for life for everybody else. And I think you know what post I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, and people can go back and read that, and that's fine. I didn't combat back. I didn't write back because I knew the meaning behind that whole post and the whole work. So, what they're asking me as somebody that's on the radio to remind hunters to have a little bit of courtesy of pulling over. Now, you and I were hauling some cattle. We're going down to move actually some cattle, And by my mailboxes, somebody actually pulled off where the county mowed. They actually were in short grass, and Slope County has a travel ban and a burn ban in place here. And it's kind of scary that way. So I actually stopped and thanked those guys. So it's not like I'm a mean guy all the time, but if you're parked in the middle of the road and I'm coming over the top with a load of hay or some cattle or something like that, it sometimes gets a little bit tough to deal with. Am I thinking am I a hypocrite like the guy said I was? Because I'm very hypocritical.
No, that was a group of grouse hunters, actually. That was early on. And there was two full vehicles of people. They had a bunch of dogs. They were geared up and ready to go. And I don't know where they were from. I don't think they really had a clue who either of us were. But when we walked towards them, you could tell they were like, oh, man, what's this going to be? And they were not on posted land. They were doing everything right. And I think that's important, too, as landowners, as farmers and ranchers. Sometimes that goes a long way from that side of things to thank the guys that are doing it right, because it seems like it only takes one bad egg, one guy that decides to park his pickup completely sideways in the middle of a county road so he can get a better view with his binoculars and block the whole dang road. It gives all hunters a bad name. So it's nice to let the guys that are doing it right know that everyone appreciates that too.
And to be fair, I possibly have said things to certain hunters that give all ranchers a bad name too. Now, and I admit that. Now, I got a post on Facebook or YouTube. It says, I won't even park in an approach. He says, I park in the ditch. And now there's two ways of looking at that. And like right now, most of my county, the county operators came out and mowed the ditches. If you can park down in the short grass, not a problem. But if it's still pretty tall grass and you drove for 2.5 hours and your Cadillac converter is pretty hot, that's kind of scary too, a little bit. You know. It is.
It puts you in a tough spot if all the grass is long. Of where does the guy park?
It does,
and that is an issue.
So this is why I bring this up. I feel that there should be some state money that if you are like in South Dakota has it figured out a little bit better than we do. If North Dakota says that you can still hunt section lines and you can do this and this and this and this and this and that's all legal to do this, then they should have some type of funding where we can put a bump out and make a parking space. But we'll talk about that coming up, plus more political issues and gun bans. It's all coming up your way on Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Open lines. Tell me what grinds your gears, and even if it's me. We'll be back after these. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number 1 in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank, an honor we take great pride in. And our customer satisfaction has always been our most important goal. We've gone along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. From remote deposit options to online mortgage applications, we are happy to serve you wherever you are. Learn more at dakotacommunitybank.com. That's dakotacommunitybank.com.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors on the Saturday edition side of things. Good to have you along here at about 20 minutes past the hour. Good to have you this morning, live and I would say regionally local, okay? I mean, when you're talking, right? I mean, when you're talking North and South Dakota, I consider everybody a neighbor. I really do. Especially after you get a few, some of the people that text me each and every day, they listen all across the Dakota territory, even out in the Minnesota side of things. They listen each and every time. You feel like your neighbor's with them after a while. And that's kind of nice to have here. So welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors continues on the Saturday edition. Jesse Flath from Western Frontier Insurance is my guest as we take open phone lines. And if not, we're going to complain about things that we want to say, what grinds our gears. And some of that is on the political side. We'll get to that after a little bit. One of the questions that I had a couple of weeks ago, Jesse, and I think I can't remember what you're doing, but I couldn't get a hold of you to answer, is when it comes to as an insurance agent, what are some of the simple things a person can do to make sure if fire strikes your house, your shop, or any place where you have a gun safe, that for me, mine is only rated for 45 minutes at a certain temperature, and the fire department is well more than 45 minutes away. What can we do to make sure that some of our firearms and everything that we have are pretty much insured? Or can you even do that?
Yeah, you can. On a regular homeowner's policy or the home portion of your farm and ranch policy, firearms are considered content. So it's part of your coverage on your policy, no different than your socks and shoes and kitchen table as far as fire goes. The problem is for some of these people, if you've got a high dollar firearm, collectible, antiques, anything like that, talk to your agent and find out how that company handles that, because they're not going to necessarily give you the $7,500 for your fancy French 30-06 with all the engraving and all that, unless you have that specifically listed on your policy. So there is some challenges on some of that stuff, but just your standard hunting rifle that a guy beats around the pickup, if you got a few of them in the house and you have a fire, you're in pretty good shape.
Now, is it something that you have to take serial numbers down and send in to your agent? Would that be helpful? Or I mean, a lot of people probably don't want to do that.
Yeah, it depends on the company and depends on how you're listing them. If it's just fire and just a standard gun, most companies aren't going to need that. No different than they don't ask you for a list of your contents ahead of time. It's just an included amount on your policy based on the value of your home, and the only time you have to supply a list is after the loss. So I would say keep that list somewhere safe, possibly not in your house in a safe deposit box or something like that, But same with your house in general, whether it's your house or your shop or your barn. If you've got farm contents on your farm and ranch policy, take an inventory once in a while in your shop. Guys have a lot more stuff in their shops than they realize they do sometimes, and most policies do not have enough coverage, because that you do have to buy a specific coverage for the stuff in your shop, and most guys don't have enough.
Would pictures be for suffice? I mean, you'd go with your cell phone and go around your guns shop, any kind of whatever you have, just start taking photos of everything.
Absolutely.
And would that be enough, or do you have to actually list them all out?
You've got to, at loss time, you have to make a list, but what that picture or video does for you is helps you remember what you actually had in there.
Yeah.
As far as your house or your shop, because man, you're going to forget stuff. I was unfortunate enough to have a client lose a shop here a few years ago, and man, it's really hard to remember what all you had. When it was all said and done, a couple years later, I was out there helping him do some stuff, and he had a couple major items that he forgot about until all of a sudden he needed them one day, and oh man, that's right, I had one of those. And
yeah,
it's very difficult to remember everything you've got when you have a total loss like that.
Yeah. Well, especially like you said, people with collectible firearms. I mean, we both know a gentleman out of the Williston area that I know he knows a lot of his guns, but I bet you he's well over 10, 15,000 guns. And
when you've got a large collection like that,
yeah,
that's a whole nother story there. Anytime you get over about 25 or so, you want to start having your agent look at a specialty gun policy. They used to have one that you could buy through the NRA. There's a couple of other markets out there. If you try to add that many guns and that much value onto your home policy or your farm and ranch policy, you are not going to like the cost of that. It gets expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that it come up in a hurry. Now, you said farm and ranch. How about people that live in town? Same type of situation?
Yep. Homeowners policy handles it the same way.
Okay. What's the most, is there a limit on the expense? Do you have to prove that with the big blue book of gun values? I mean, is that something that's brought in consideration too?
It depends on what it is, and that goes with any type of collectible. Whether you've got a great grandmother's kitchen table that's worth a bunch of money, antique furniture, paintings, jewelry. Once you get over a certain value, they're going to require an appraisal. And the tough thing is like with furniture, the closest place that will give an actual official appraisal on furniture, I think, is Minneapolis. So it gets very difficult in our area, North and South Dakota, to get an appraisal on certain things that an insurance company will actually accept. But usually you've got to have a pretty high dollar item where they start requiring that. A lot of my, for example, jewelry, a lot of my companies anymore, they used to require an appraisal on all jewelry. And now they pretty much set a limit of anything over $5,000 of value. But if it's under that, they don't require an appraisal. So things are changing a little bit just because the costs are getting so high on a lot of these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the increase? We see it in fuel. I paid $5.64 for diesel the other day. And rumor has it in the next 10 days, it's going to go up 60 cents. You see the price of parts. You see the price of ammunition, the price of anything, trying to get anything at this point. Even vaccine for cattle has been going sky high, and people are trying to get ahead of the game, which I need to do a lot of that as well. Are you seeing that in the insurance side of things as well, where, everything's going up? We're going to have to start increasing premiums too.
Every single company I have right now has taken an increase. Some of them more than others. I had a gentleman the other day, his homeowner's policy came through, and from last year to this year, his rate went up 38%.
Eesh.
And I immediately went to work trying to shop him with my other companies, which is kind of my advantage as an independent agent. I've got multiple companies, that I can put people with. And even after that 38% increase, I didn't have any of my other companies that I could beat that rate with. So he's eaten a 38% raise in his homeowners this year.
Here's a question comes in here, Jesse, from YouTube. Here is 60 seconds for you to answer. If my catalytic converter starts a fire, will my auto policy pay out to the farmer rancher?
Boy, that's a good question. I don't think so.
I didn't think so either, because fire is one of those things that still isn't covered very well if somebody else starts it.
Yeah, you gotta prove negligence, which I guess negligence of parking in the long grass. But if that went to court, I'd have to do some asking. I'm sure it's came up before. I've never seen it or heard it around here. I don't know how they would treat that. My knee-jerk reaction is going to say no. There's not going to be no payment on that, I don't think. But you really have to check into that one.
Yeah. Does any insurance exist where you can have that rider on it, he asks?
Doubt it. Not that I know of.
Okay. Not that you've seen in your time behind the insurance wheel. Well, starting the next second half, we're going to go to some gun policies. And one that was done yesterday, very quickly across the border. We'll check into that, plus more. Jesse Flatt from Western Frontier Insurance is my guest, and we're taking phone calls if you'd like to call in, tell us what's on your mind. Or sorry about that, what grinds your gears. 888-932-5682. That's 888-932-5682. You can also text me at 701-425-6651 or join us on the social media side and send a message that way. We'll be back after these messages. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number 1 in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Moat Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank, an honor we take great pride in. And our customer satisfaction has always been our most important goal. We've gone along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. From remote deposit options to online mortgage applications, we are happy to serve you wherever you are. Learn more at dakotacommunitybank.com. That's dakotacommunitybank.com.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Good morning and welcome back to Dakota Prairie Outdoors on a Saturday. Here's we're looking at a little bit of wind out of the east and some spotty rain showers in my neck of the woods, and going to be interesting. Hopefully, we get the cows moved here today and sorted off here a little bit better. Get ready for that weaning side of things. Jesse Flath with Western Frontier Insurance, my guest here, as we take your calls at 888-932-5682. If you want to go live with us, if you want to text, you can text me at 701-425-6651 or find me on any social media platform that sends messages. We can take that as well. And all right, Flath, are you ready to get political?
I guess now's as good a time as any.
This was sent to me this morning at 2 a.m., and I got up and did a little research. Yesterday afternoon in Canada, this is Prime Minister Trudeau.
In May, our government introduced measures to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership. Today, our national freeze on handguns is coming into force. From today forward, it is no longer legal to buy, sell, or transfer a handgun in Canada.
As of yesterday afternoon, it is no longer legal in Canada to buy, sell, or own a handgun in Canada, Jesse. Now,
I didn't hear that. I heard buy, sell, or transfer.
Buy, sell, or transfer. And they're doing a mandatory. I have another clip that I didn't have time this morning to do it because I wanted to sleep in a little bit. Anyway, they're doing mandatory buybacks and all sporting. I call them modern sporting rifles. They call them assault weapons, which is hilarious because I can make a number 2 pencil into an assault weapon. But anyway, handguns and a mandatory buyback on assault weapons. And so anyway, all I hear out of that, Jesse, right now is if you're legal, so in Canada, you have to get a license. You have to apply for a license in order to own a gun. And if you're a legal owner of a handgun and went through all the paperwork, have the license, it's registered. Everything that they've always wanted, registered guns, they got to register, mandatory registration. They did that. If you're a legal owner of a handgun, you have to turn it back in. It is illegal to own that right now.
So they're not even grandfathering the current owners in.
No.
You are going to be giving your pistol back.
Now, from what I researched in the last few hours, okay, I could be wrong on this, but that was a comment that Justin Trudeau made yesterday afternoon. Earlier this week in the United States side of things, Senator Cruz tried to get more money for schools to increase their funding for police officers, for safety. What are you going to do about school shootings? You get people there that'll stop the school shootings. It's not the legal, law-abiding gun citizens that are doing the damage here. It's the illegal and the mentally unstable that are doing this. But he wanted to put money into that. That one got turned down. During the same committee hearing, he went to this one.
I'm now going to propound a second unanimous consent bill. There are right now $135 billion in unspent COVID relief funds to schools. Under the rules the Democrats have put in place, those funds cannot be spent on school security. The second bill that I'm going to ask this body to pass is a bill that is very simple. It's one page. It says schools can spend some of that $135 billion on school security. They can decide what to spend it on. But if they decide they want to hire an additional police officer, they can spend the money on that. If they decide they want to enhance the physical security of their campus to make their students safer, they can spend it on that. They can invest in school security. Right now, the Democrats have blocked them from doing this. These are funds Congress has already appropriated that haven't been spent. And this bill is unbelievably simple. It says the schools can choose to invest in school security. Therefore, Madam President, as if in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions be discharged from further consideration of S 4586 and that the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration. Further, that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Reserving the right to object.
Senator from Connecticut.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator is right. I'm not going to engage in a colloquy on the merits of this request or the previous request. This isn't real. This is a TV show, theater.
This is a TV show. It's theater. Our children in school. As a parent, Jesse, as a parent with kids in public school, how does it feel to have the Senator Murphy out of Connecticut say this is a theater? Your kid's security, the school's security. How does that make you feel as a parent?
I'm a little different as a parent, I guess. I think they should take all that money back in the first place and put it where it should be. Get rid of some debt.
100. Well, yeah, but they're still going to have it. $135 billion that the schools have waiting for them, but they cannot use it to keep the students safe. And they're not giving the teachers a pay raise either.
Yeah, but yet they're supposed to use it towards something with COVID, where we all know that that's not going to happen because the whole COVID thing is basically over, because guess what? People are starting to get the common cold again. Amazing.
Yeah, shocker.
So, all that money is going to sit there tied up on paper. And that's the problem, is a lot of that money is just on paper. There's it's all numbers in a budget. So it'll sit there and drive our debt up for years and years. And I don't know how they'll ever rectify that, because it's sitting there in the coffers and it's not going to get spent, and they won't release it for things that the schools actually need, whether it is more security, whether it is some schools have an actual nurse on staff. Use it to hire a nurse if it's supposed to be COVID money. But I don't know what that's a real deep well. That's a 14-day discussion right there.
Well, we got 14 minutes, and I'll tell you this right now. I don't have kids, and it makes me mad.
Yeah.
All right. When I talked to John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV, he's a school teacher. He's a special ed school teacher. And he had a hard time even thinking about that. He's in the front force, man. If somebody comes into the school, he's told me himself, he says, I am going to step up. It's my job as a teacher to step in front and take care of these kids.
Yeah.
Here's somebody that's offering, let's let the schools use a portion of $135 billion. So the school teachers might not have to be the first ones. I mean, if they already get that far into the school, there's going to be damage no matter what. I don't want to see school teachers lost either. Let's take care of it before he gets into that. And you have a senator out of Connecticut saying, this is just theater. This is TV.
Yeah, and this ties all the way back to the Canada thing, where now they are going to, basically it's a full-on confiscation of any automatic rifles, any pistols. And I know people think it's a conspiracy theory, but they are going to go after everything at some point. You're not going to have any type of deer rifle or shotgun at some point. It really is a stepping stone to what a lot of the countries in Europe, a lot of the states, I don't know what they call them over there, not real well traveled when it comes to that, but a lot of the areas over there, you are not allowed to have your gun. You can own it, but it has to be at a facility, and you have to go check out your own gun. Basically, you rent your own gun for a day or a weekend to go hunting, and when you're done, it has to go back to that facility. You're not allowed to keep your guns even at home, and it's going to get crazy,
Well, that leads into
people say it can't happen here. It's happening about 400 miles straight north of me right now.
Exactly. And it happened in Canada. One of the comments on the Canadian side with Justin Trudeau yesterday saying that all handguns now no more buying, selling, importing, done, closed up. And they're trying to do mandatory buybacks on all of handguns and assault weapons, as they call them. And I do that as air quotes as I can on the radio. Gene says maybe they should make meth illegal first, right? I mean, you look at, and that's the thing, meth and crack and fentanyl is a huge thing. I talked to our county sheriff over in Hettinger, in Adams County. They're having problems with laced marijuana. It's laced with fentanyl.
Yeah, that's a big deal everywhere right now.
And they're trying to make that legal, and that's a whole nother story. However, it's just a stepping stone, like you said here. Eric says they just made a lot of people in Canada outlaws right now. There's going to be some modern-day Jesse James and Billy the Kid after a second Civil War. Is this leading up to a civil war? Because there are groups of people, whether it's Canada, United States, anywhere else, that have these militias kind of built up. They're part of organizations that swear they're going to stand up. I will here at the ranch. I'm not going to join a organization so much, but if somebody comes in here saying, Scott, we're going to go through and take all your guns away, and we're going to fine you for each one of them that we're going to have an issue. I think our county sheriff wouldn't do that. And people have to remember the law starts at the county level.
Yeah, that's where we're a little bit different than Canada. Our structure of our country is a little different than a lot of places, and That's something that a lot of people down here forget. You brought up the laced fentanyl marijuana. That is one of the bills in North Dakota again this year, is to legalize marijuana for recreational use.
Yep.
But yet then it will be regulated by the state, just like cigarettes are. And I heard an interesting discussion about that, talking about if they legalize it, then it will be regulated, and then it will make it safer because it will be, I don't know the word for it, it'll be watched over. The quality will go up, and it'll be safer. But here's the problem that just came to mind when it comes to gun ownership. Even if they legalize it in our state, it is still illegal federally.
Yep.
There is a question now on the Form 4473, which is the form you have to fill out for your background check in the United States when you buy a firearm. There is a question on there that asks if you are a user of marijuana. If you check yes on that form, when they call it in and tell the background check people what your answers are, you will be denied, because that is a federal illegal thing to do. And if you will admit to being a pot user, you won't be allowed to buy a gun. So there's a lot of things are tied together here.
But if you're a 25-year-old man that dresses up like a cat in Walmart, you can legally be able to get a gun if you just check the right boxes, which really torques me off, because that's a mental illness just like anything else.
Yeah.
How about this? Gene says, make North Dakota gun sanctuary state and let Canadians in. We've been doing that county by county. My county, Slope County, is a gun sanctuary county. And we have to do it county by county because the states, we can't get East River to go along with some of the stuff that we like. So, I mean, that's just how it is. But that's, I'm telling you this right now, we're in for a long haul, man. Long haul. Diesel prices, everything else going up, up, up. On the good side, well, I don't know if it's maybe pressuring me. I got to get my pronghorn tag taken care of by tomorrow here. Oh, I got a text message. After legalization of marijuana, law officials say 80% will then be sold on the black market. All right. If you want to talk about this, I'll talk about marijuana, okay? And I think I said this before on my radio program. My youngest sister lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. She moved down there years ago and works for the VA hospital. I'm not sure what her job is or what its title is or anything. She's in charge of a lot of things down there. But one of the things that she needs to do is go around and find veterans that have drug and alcohol abuse problems and get them off the streets, get them into an apartment, which there's apartments available for this. Now, they claimed in Vegas, once they legalized marijuana, all this tax money, Jesse, there's going to be so much tax money that all these hospitals and VAs and all this, there's going to be programs and funding for this like nobody's business. She has seen zero in her department on funding to help get veterans off of the streets, off of marijuana, off of any kind of drugs for that matter. And the problem is getting worse because more people are using the marijuana now as a gateway drug to harder drugs.
Yeah, now it's everywhere down there.
No,
you walk down Fremont Street and it just stinks.
It does stink. You go to any of the New Orleans or any of the places, it just reeks of skunk pee everywhere you go. But here's the thing about it is the medical side. And here's where I have a little bit of problem. My mom, we got her some of the gummies because she was having some anxiety issues before she passed on. And it helped. Okay.
Oh, I think there's definitely a use for it. I just don't know that opening it up recreationally is the answer, but
it's not the answer for anything.
You know, then you go to any other beer, whiskey. It's all a drug.
Gene says we have moonshiners and booze is legal.
Yeah.
Eric says, after
You know,
all, I
it
remember
is. It's
history thinks he's a Billy the Kid. Famous was merchant war between Irish and the Irish and English. Yeah. So, yeah.
I see
Yeah.
all sides of it. It's there's been some stories in North Dakota where there was a gal that was going through, I don't remember what it was, some sort of cancer or bone disease or something. And for whatever reason, the doctors would not give her the medical use permit, prescription, whatever they got to do. And the family ended up moving to another state. So everybody's got control over it all the time, and it's not always used in the right instances. And man, this interstate is rough. I feel like I'm
Hey, it's that time of year, and we drive bigger pickups too. And one more comment says, I'm all for medical marijuana, but this recreational crap, no. What happened to the war on drugs? It seemed to disappear about 12 years ago. And I agree. And you know what happened about 12 years ago. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how many things are tied together. The
Follow-
drugs, the gun ownership, the hunting rights in general.
Yeah, landowners.
You and I talked about it the other day. The purple post, where I think it's 18 states. If you paint your corner post purple, that is considered posted.
Yep.
Yeah, and then your signs can't get shot. The wind can't blow them away. The sun can't fade them out. You paint your post purple, that private ground is closed. That seems pretty simple, but man, try getting that one through the legislature.
Quick story from a guy that ranches right on the border of Montana, North Dakota. All of his signs on the North Dakota side, he had somebody call and ask to hunt antelope, and he says no. He says, I have some family members that are coming in this weekend, and those people that were turned down went out and ripped each and every metal sign off of the post.
Wow.
Metal signs, ripped them off, stole the signs, and just drove away. So we're doing that. Eric says, I think Christie normally made South Dakota a gun sanctuary state as well. I think so. You know, it's like I said, you know, there's definitely
they did it as a state.
I think so. I think if I remember right back then they also allowed the school board to make decisions if they would like security or somebody, or if their teachers want to go through the course to carry. There's certain schools, I think Phillip is one of them, and you know, I mean, they really went ahead and kind of that was national news.
Didn't North Dakota pass that last legislative session? Woofda.
That I'm not positive. I'd have to ask Mr. John Armin if I can get him on one of these days. But hey, on the good side of things, November 4th, Medora, North Dakota, Hunters Feed. Coming up in Baker, Montana, November 12th is their Hunters Feed. And I'm going to have Jake Wagner will be on the show next week, hopefully. He's busy butchering elk. A lot of people are filling their elk tags across Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and he's one that's doing it. Jesse, thank you for coming in here and joining me here this morning. We're up against the end. You wasted a perfectly good hour listening to what grinds my gears, evidently, here. And that's what just since 2 o'clock this morning. Imagine if I'd keep all this stuff I hear all week long. We'll have more coming up your way. Check it out at DakotaPrairieOutdoors.com, my daily show. Eat some meat, drink some milk, enjoy your weekend, and be a good person each and every day. Thank you, stations. Appreciate you guys hanging with. And Jesse, thank you, man.
Yeah. I'm just coming up on Richardson here, and I'm hitting some pretty thick fog all of a sudden.
Clay says, yes, we passed Second Amendment sanctuary state law in 2021. There you go. I know they can.
In what state? North Dakota?
North Dakota, I think he said. Or I don't know. He lives in North Dakota and
I know, but he
talks
thinks he's
South
from
Dakota. I don't
I
know. I'm not sure. Got to be more specific.
I'm guessing he's talking North Dakota.
He testified and helped with that last session. I don't know. You got to specify which ones, because, God darn it, I'm on both states. And those that live on the border, it's hard to know.
But he has dove all the way into North Dakota politics since his NRA retirement. So I would guess he's talking North Dakota.
Yeah, possibly. Oh, hey, I got to go catch horses and get down and see what kind of fun. I got to get my raincoat. So let me know how the auction goes today.
Yeah. Yeah, just rolling through Richardson here. Auction starts at 10 o'clock your time, so
Let me know who ends up with the land, the shop, and everything.
that's going to be interesting. I want to know what type of reserve she's got on that building.
I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. I think it's going to go pretty well.
I don't-
And a pretty
I
nice
don't think so
industrial
either.
area in the heart of the oil patch right there. Yeah, I think you'll
Yep.
be fine.
Highway 85 access with no load restrictions.
And easy access for parking any of your vehicles or even making a business out of it.
Yep.
I'm guessing it's going to go to one of the oil companies, though.
Possibly.
Maybe it'll be a Jehovah's Witness church.
I tell you what, that was one of the bidders on the old auction barn in Bismarck
I know.
was a church. They wanted to turn it into a church.
Wow. Yeah, for some reason I got into the wrong thing. When I was in high school, I was thinking about becoming a priest, and then I decided when I went on a date with a girl, I was like, nope, that ain't for me.
Could have went either way. I really could have went either way.
Eric says, is South Dakota a purple post state? No, it is not. South Dakota is everything is assumed posted state, which is what we wanted to do in North Dakota. But Clay was talking about South Dakota, by the way, or no?
Oh, okay.
So no, both states are sanctuary. So
Okay.
but anyway, I better
Yeah,
roll,
we-
man.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, catch you later.
Yeah, bye.
YouTube, thank you guys for hanging on. Appreciate everything. If you have any ideas for next weekends, I'm going to have Jake Wagner talking about the Baker Hunters feed, and we'll go from that way too. So have yourself a great day, and I guess we'll catch you next Saturday or on Monday on my daily program.